we had this fellow who died. The person died, we haven't really decided where he was living, with assets in Switzerland and all over the world with loads of children. And all of this is a big problem today because with the exchange of information, with domestic legislation, the tax pressure, the state duty, tax treaties, we've got more and more problems coming up wherever we are. One of these sessions is not just to say where the property is, but also what happens where I am. Not me literally, but where you all are. So if we say, we have real estate in minorities, does the inheritance and gift tax apply in the respective countries to the non-resident heirs? So where do we have no estate duty at all? Any of you, can you put your hand up? You.
Australia. We don't have any.
So let's start with you. So you don't have any problems, but what about if it comes to you from somewhere else?
Yeah, but if the guy or one of his children or spouses of the children will convert and do an aliyah to Israel, that can be some tax. Don't think about explaining to you.
So if we imagine that property is situated in the Czech Republic, then there will be no inheritance tax, even no transfer tax, simply no payment.
Okay, you imagine that your client was living in one of these tax-free countries. But now we've got the problem, his child was living in Italy. There was no inheritance tax. What happens in Italy when you receive the money? Do you have a problem in Italy?
I think you must take care of justifying the source of the money he gets. And I'm saying money because even if the example is about real estate somewhere in the world, I'm thinking of the moment this lucky Italian guy may sell these properties. So now probably there are only some compliance stuff.
I've got a great property or assets. The money arrives in Italy. That's not so much a problem because it's cash. You don't have to tax it again, but it's never been taxed elsewhere. The fact that I'm resident in Italy and I'm one of the children receiving, you're not worried. But now if I had had the property in Italy, but I was living in the Czech Republic, then I'd have a different problem, presumably.
If the property is in Italy, you have to pay some taxes, stamp duty, and connected with the fact that the property passes from your grandfather to the children.
The property was in Czech Republic, wherever, where there was no estate duty, and the child's living in London and receives this legacy.
Okay, no particular issues for him on receipt of the legacy.
No tax.
Not on receipt, no. But then, of course, the legacy will go into his eventual UK estate. So he may want to do some sort of structuring, perhaps even before he receives the legacy.
But if he had had the property in the UK, that would have been a different scenario, presumably.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any volunteers in Germany, if with that situation, do you feel which one of you would like to reply the German situation?
You have to pay taxes for your worldwide assets. But if you have also to pay foreign taxes somewhere, then you can deduct it from the German tax.
Now what about if the property had been in Nigeria and the person lived abroad? Would there be death duty in Nigeria?
There's no inheritance tax.
So there's no inheritance tax. But would I have foreign exchange problems to remit the money out?
You will have.
Even though it's an estate?
You will have.
What generally happens when somebody comes to advise you, because I can imagine that must be quite common that Nigerians emigrate abroad and their parents are living in Nigeria and they die. What happens to the family assets afterwards?
Well,
the mess?
The person will just have to keep spending the money in Nigeria. However, there might be a need to transfer the property into your name.
Yeah.
Because before you can sell, you have to sell it something you own. And if it's owned, still held in the name of the grandfather or grandparents, then there will be a challenge. So unless you actually go through the processes of transferring the property into your name before you are legitimately able to sell.